My name is Jessie Cadenas, and I'm a middle school Spanish teacher who uses CI and TPRS to teach.
¿Cómo se dice what's wrong with you?
¿Qué te pasa?
¿Cómo se dice how disgusting?
Se dice que asco.
¿Cómo se dice I agree?
Se dice estoy de acuerdo.
I love that I get to teach kids to speak a foreign language at this age. Our district is very much into foreign languages. We have kids studying Spanish at the elementary level.
El bebé corre. Isabela le dice, camina bebé.
Camina, bebé.
¿El bebé camina?
No.
El bebé no camina. Excelente, gracias.
And we also have kids studying Chinese in our DLI program. It's a proven fact that kids that take a foreign language at a younger age do better in language arts. They appreciate a culture other than their own. And these are the kids that are on track to college.
You said you were CI and a TPRS teacher.
Yes.
Why don't you explain how that is different from another Spanish teacher?
CI means comprehensible input. TPRS stands for total physical response storytelling. In the simplest way, we teach foreign language the way we learned our first language. We learned the language that was around us. Basically, life was a story. For example, your mom gets you ready in the morning and she says, come on, let's go. Put on your shirt. Do you want the red one or do you want the blue one? Hurry up, come on, run, let's go. Let's get you into your car seat. Put on your safety belt. Oh, look out the window. Do you see that? Do you see the dog in the car? And they were constantly speaking to us. It wasn't a theme. We were learning, and then we learned the past tense immediately after that.
Hola, clase. ¿Qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día será mañana? ¿Qué día fue ayer?
So this is very different from traditional language learning rules or dialogues.
Yes, we don't teach by theme anymore. Before, Spanish books, they were divided by theme. You learned family in one unit and describing family members. And then you learned colors and clothes in another one. And then you learned food, and then you learned numbers and prices, and it all had to do with theme. This is more real life because honestly, our mothers did not teach us, today I'm going to teach you a bunch of clothes. She didn't go to the refrigerator and take out a bunch of food and show us this food. We were learning food as we were going along. We were learning numbers as they were coming up. So it's basically the same thing. We're just able to add more vocab, and grammar is being taught as it shows up.
La sirena.
La sirena.
Hay una sirena.
Una sirena.
La sirena.
La sirena.
Vive
debajo
del mar.
del mar.
Kids in TPRS storytelling are remembering words, entire phrases using hand motions. There is English spoken. Like I'll say the word first in English, then I'll teach what it means. The kids come up with their own hand motion and they will learn long phrases. My kids can say stuff like, sin embargo, al día siguiente, just because they learned that in a story.
El cuervo ve el coyote y tiene miedo. El cuervo sale rápidamente del parque y vuela al desierto.
Are all the teachers teaching this way now?
No, it's fairly new. Our district began 4 years ago at the high school. Two of those teachers that started the program, one went to another district and one is now in the elementary school using this methodology to teach the little ones. But in our district, it is still fairly new.
Why is not everyone using TPRS at your district?
Well, one, they don't know about it. Two, they haven't received training. If they don't know how to do this, that's one of the reasons why they would not be able to implement it in their classroom if it's new. They need the training. And lastly, some of them just don't want to. And the reason they don't want to is they believe the myths.
Myths?
Yes, the myths. Myth 1, grammar is not taught. Grammar is taught a lot. It's taught all the time. It's just acquired and clarified. We teach with songs. Every morning, the kids use the past tense. Kids use said and estad correctly because they learn phrases, not the verb first. Kids understand stem changing verbs because they have been using them. Every person who speaks English uses past participles correctly. If I ask anyone to name a past participle, they will struggle. Would someone learning English rather learn to know what a past participle is, a list of them, or be able to say something using one? The point is, we want kids talking. Myth 2, there is no curriculum. Kids learn all the basics, all the themes that are expected, all the high functioning verbs, but they learn more. We have the flexibility to add more. Adjectives, they would not have been taught in the book. Expressions that come up in real life. My students learned about the solar eclipse because it was happening. They talked about climate change because Greta Thunberg was in the news. They were able to talk about Martin Luther King, and recently they talked about Kobe in Spanish. Myth 3, students only memorize stories. They are really not acquiring the language. TPRS has a systematic plan. We are always spiraling on what they know, switching up a storyline. They are constantly talking. Kids learn vocabulary, structures, and they start creating language. They start using the language they already know in their own dialogues. Myth 4, students learn to speak but cannot read or write. Our students already know how to read. They already know how to write. They understood what they were reading because they spoke that language. So reading begins on day 1. They are going to read what they just learned how to say. Writing is a huge part of our program. I teach level 1 and they read 2 novels in Spanish. They are not just reading but commenting on the stories. They will give you opinions on the characters, the choices that the characters are making, the character of the characters. Kids are talking. I once taught where a textbook was my resource, and I look back at it now and I realize I limited my students. Language should not be limited to a theme, a list of vocabulary words, redundant grammar facts. Our kids are smarter than that. They have so much potential. They deserve so much more. And there are so many teachers, groups on Facebook, bloggers, organizations that believe in CI and TPRS and that are willing to share resources, stories, PowerPoints, what they know, free of charge. I really hope other foreign language teachers join us.